Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Blasting Agent Ultimate Edition. This is a very cheap game, I found. It's $2.50 on the store right now, actually less than that on PlayStation Plus. And that is a very cheap price, which kind of made me worried because you get what you pay for, and I wasn't entirely wrong about that. Not that much to see out here except the sound effects and the music. I've turned it up just so that you can actually hear it because it starts so low that it's actually really hard to hear even when you've got the Vita at maximum volume. So I'm not entirely sure what the deal is there. You can also change your controls so that shoot and jump are different buttons, but it's pretty unnecessary. Nothing too special there. You can also change your language and clear your save data. So I'm on mission 4 of 6. Yes, there is only 6 levels in this game. There is a hard difficulty, but all the hard difficulty does is make it so that the enemies are way stronger for some reason. It doesn't change the layouts of the levels or anything. You do also get medals depending on whether you complete the levels on easy or hard, and they will actually give you things like power-ups. So I've got spiked boots and a frag grenade here. All of these levels on easy will give you power-ups to make the game easier, and all of them on hard will give you costumes. So, yeah. So let's just head back. The menu system in this game is a little weird. It doesn't work exactly the way you expect it to. Like, you would think if I were to press left on config, it would take me to the difficulty select, but no, it takes me up to medals. It's just a little odd. It just doesn't sit right. But let's just play level 4. I haven't actually played this yet, but we will give it a shot this level yet, so we'll give it a shot anyway. The game's concept is very simple. You are a man. You must run around, jump over things, and shoot anything that gets in your way. Collect all of the gold that's lying on the ground and kill all of the enemies in the level, and you will get the power-ups or whatever it is that you're looking for. Very easy to do this. The only level I didn't do it on was on the first level because I didn't realize the #1 rule of all the games that are designed like this. If there is ever anything off to the left, go to it first. Everything on the right is where you need to basically go in order to actually continue the game. That is pretty much the basic rule of every game like this that I've ever played, so that's a thing. Your gun starts out very weak and it can only shoot forward, but as you go throughout the levels, you will be able to find more of... bloody hell, there was a bloody wall there. Well, not a bloody wall, there was a bloody hole there. There wasn't a wall there. As I said, your gun starts out very weak, but you find these little red, green, and blue power-ups. You can see the ones that I have at the moment on the top left side of the screen near my health bar. You can also get health upgrades. So, very, very simple. Thankfully, well, on let me try that again. The 2 difficulties will reset your power-ups. They are different between them, but you do keep your power-ups between stages on the same difficulty. So thank God for that. Because early on, the combat just basically turns into walk towards the enemy, walk away, and just keep firing at them. Thankfully, your direction locks while you're firing, so if you need to backpedal while you're firing at something, you can do that without changing your direction, which is very useful indeed. Because if you wouldn't be able to do that, this game would be very hard to play at the very beginning. There is also some annoying aspects to the game design. For example, you have an invincibility sort of like mercy timer, but it's very short. Like horrendously short. You will get like a quarter of a second between hits if you're lucky. So you end up getting hit constantly by the same thing, or getting hit constantly by multiple things. This makes some areas of the game absolute nightmares, like, just as an example, the second boss. Every level has a boss at the end of it, by the way. Spoiler alert. And when you're fighting this boss in particular, it constantly throws shit out at you. Like, it's constantly hitting you with, like, its body or with these little minions that it sends out to kill you. And if you make, like, one mistake on that level, you're practically dead, because you'll get caught up in the thing's body over and over again just because the Mercy invincibility doesn't last anywhere near long enough to get you out of danger in that particular boss fight. And it's horrendous. It takes ages because you can't make one mistake on that boss fight. Unlike all the other boss fights, which are actually surprisingly easy, unless you're playing on hard mode, of course. But you don't unlock hard mode until you have managed to... You don't unlock hard mode, fuck me, until you've managed to beat the first 3 levels. So if the game's too easy and boring for you, which it pretty much is at the very beginning, you're stuck with it until you get halfway through the game. The platforming challenge is the hardest thing about the game. Most of the enemies are really simple. The only thing that changes between easy and hard mode, as I said, is that the enemies move faster and shoot more. So you end up taking more damage as a result. Hang on, let me actually look at my Vita screen here. It might actually help me with the platforming challenges. There might be a little bit of input delay thanks to the capture process. I wouldn't know exactly for sure. I'm usually fine with playing games on the monitor, but at the same time, it just might not go well for me for whatever reason. The game also doesn't look and sound that great. The graphical fidelity is non-existent. I mean, it doesn't really look very good at all. I mean, look at those rockets there, if you can even call them rockets. That looks like something I would make as placeholder art for a game I was making. That's a bit bad even for games like this. Some of the art's obviously okay, but it's very gritty and repetitive, which is, the design of this game, obviously, is based around grids. Like, you can notice that everything is a grid. That spike is one grid. That gold is one grid. It's all very gritty. But it doesn't work very well. It makes the levels feel very blocky and boring. It's not that pleasant. You can Goomba Stomp on enemies, but it's really inconsistent, even with, like... It's just weird. Half the time you just won't get the Goomba Stomp and you'll just take damage anyway. Because, screw you, I guess. You do also have... Whoops. You do have infinite lives, which is nice, and you just go back to the previous door you came through. The doors serve as the checkpoints. I'm fine with that. Boss fight. Oh dear. It's one of these things, is it? Well, it's not one of these things. I haven't actually seen this before. Oh, so that's how you heard it. Okay. I'm definitely not going to survive this boss fight, but thankfully if I die, I will come back with full health right at the boss again, so... See? Full health. Nothing doing. Ow. And thankfully when these things die, they are fairly likely to drop a good handful of hearts, which I can use to keep myself alive. The boss fights are your typical repetitive pattern fare. Just, wait for whatever pattern's going on to happen. Wait for your opportunity to hit it, rinse and repeat until the health bar's gone. Nothing particularly interesting about it. Wow, they're really not dropping hearts for me this time, are they? God, I remember the third boss fight where the bloody grunts that would come in to kill you would drop a heart every single time. So this is clearly a bit of a pain. One of the worst parts of this game, though, is the music. It's... God damn it. It's horrendously repetitive at times, and... Oh, fuck off. It's horrendously repetitive at times, and it's just... not really that fun to listen to. Quite annoying. Your collision mask is a bit unfair in this game as well. Like, You're such a fat ass, the bullets that don't even touch you will hit you. It's really not that fair. Oh, great. I'll just die. Like, that gap between actually getting, you know, getting hit and being able to get hit again is ridiculously short. It doesn't really help. You could probably take away the Mercy invincibility entirely and not much would change. You definitely need all these hearts. And of course, I waste 2 hearts just to get 4. Even at $2.50, it's hard to say I would recommend this one. It's just even with all of the little problems that it has, it's just really boring. The gun does nothing of note whatsoever. The power-ups you get are also quite boring. You're like, I barely noticed the frag grenade. And it's just dull. Like, it's really dull to play this game. I played this game for like an hour and it felt like 2.5. So I find it to be extremely dull at the best of times. I don't know how I'm supposed to avoid these bullets. They're really damn fast. I guess they just want me to... Well, I was gonna say, I guess they want me to stand still and just dodge between them, but no, they are really quick, and your collision mask is horrific. Although doing the moonwalk like that, it seems to keep me out of danger, at least for a little bit. Thankfully, the eyes don't actually try and attack me, so... If the eyes actually did try to attack me, I'd be kind of screwed. Yeah, this does seem to be the way to do it, just doing the moonwalk and immediately getting crushed and losing half my health because fuck you, Mercy invincibility, what's that? And I'm dead. You know what, screw it. You've seen everything there is to see. All the other parts of the game are like this. It didn't even quit, what the hell? All of the other levels in the game are exactly like what you just saw. The enemies haven't changed in the past 3 levels either. There's been a couple of new ones, but no real changes or upgrades to the previous ones. It's a very dull game, and I find it hard to recommend to pretty much anyone. Go get anything else. Anything is better compared to this, really. Although, to be fair, I did make a game that was almost exactly like this back in high school, and yeah, that game was shit too. So, this has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.